Hey, this is Max. I am back with another CSR2 video. A viewer has asked that I do a quick run through of my garages to kind of give you guys an idea of all the cars I've collected over the time I played this game. So I am going to do that. I want to first say that collecting cars in this game and what cars you have and don't have doesn't make you a better or worse player. It just reflects a little bit of how much time and money you might have put into this game, as well as how much time you have invested. Of course, luck is a big part of it as well. So when you see one person's garage and you see nice cars, understand that everyone's luck is different. Some of us have been playing since 2016 and others have been playing since 2018. So there's a difference in what you're going to have and what you're not going to have. I have a very simple organization process, so bear with me as I go through my cars. I put all the kind of boss rides in the beginning here. I am missing, obviously, the FRS Rocket Bunny from KJ, because back in the day when I started this game, the first car, the first boss car, when I went to race, I did not have the patience and the foresight to actually do enough to win it. I did not make that mistake with any other boss car, and I have collected every other one from there, none of which required super nitrous, and all of which were acquired over time. Now, beyond that, I have paid for Purple Star cars. In fact, I paid for quite a few of the Ferraris because I always felt Ferraris were strong cars in this game. And at the time I went in to buy the Ferraris, I thought the LaFerrari Aperta was going to be the new fastest car. That turned out to be false. And that taught me a big lesson not to look ahead at released information by modders and kind of fall into the pit of buying cars that are expensive and does nothing for you in the end. So the Ferrari event I went through, I also went and bought the Porsches, and also when the Fast and Furious event went to the end, I did buy the Fast and Furious cars. So those are my paid cars, and the rest of these I kind of won. I did get this Intenza, but I refused to spend any money besides the car because I just wanted to have the car, but I didn't really care about whether it gets maxed or even built. Some of these obviously are acquired through winning the Evolution Cups. Those are nice to have. And once I got past those, as you can see, majority of all the cars I own in this game are from either Silver Keys or Milestone. I pulled very few gold key cars, but I did manage to get both the Chiron and the Viren Super Sport. I actually pulled extras, which depending on the color patterns, sometimes I won't strip them. But I'm not a color collector. I just tend to, have a car, and if I think it looks nice, I just keep it. If I don't care about the way it looks, otherwise I tend to strip it. I have a thing for blue cars, so usually when I have an extra blue one of a model, I tend to keep that. But again, I don't go pull extra keys just to get certain colors. It's kind of luck of the draw for me. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, whatever. Let it go, move on. And again, while I have a large collection of cars, certain cars are conspicuously missing, such as the LaFerrari. I never had the luck to pull that, even though I had quite a bit of good luck with most other cars, I should say. Um, Many of my cars are built, but not maxed. Some are maxed. Many of the recent Golden Cup cars, ever since Natural Motion switched over to giving you the crates, I've had better luck at overall maxing out cars. My focuses have always been on Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and any car that I can get fusions for. Cars like the Lycan Hypersport, the Ferris Super Sport, until Golden Cup comes around and I can get some fusions, I don't bother with them too much. Um, One thing I find is that you will get a chance to max a car, but you shouldn't chase it unless you plan to spend money. I mean, if you're chasing to max out cars that have unique fusions, unique stage sixes, you're going to end up spending quite a bit of money. And that's just the nature of the game. There's no way around that. As you can see, I don't build a lot of the recent milestone cars. I've been leaving them stock because, well, I've had saved up quite a bit of parts on some of these older cars. It's very painful to spend on the new ones. And then you realize, of course, you're going to run out of resources quite quickly doing it. So I've just avoid doing it. I mean, most of these cars, like this one, I even bothered to start building simply because I know I don't have the fusions. Why am I wasting my time? Porsche's fusions are also rare. Building this took up almost all my fusions. So I am leaving a lot of Porsches basically stock. Tier 4 has a lot of good cars, but also some are just mad, like this one here, this one here. Even with the buff, they're only so-so. Again, I pick and choose cars. I don't usually build them just because they're there. And that's one of the reasons why I actually have money and gold saved up. It's because I don't waste it too often. I do waste it here and there, but not too often. And if you play enough, you're going to have enough keys. So I have a lot of Dodge Vipers. Now, what's interesting is this Viper ACR was so hard to get back in the day. When I pulled the first one during the first time it was a cup, I was so happy. Oh man, I finally pulled this. This is a very rare car back then. And then, of course, in the future cups, when I was trying to pull 5-star other cars, I ended up getting more Viper ACRs. Hey, it is what it is. But it's kind of cool, I guess, that I have 3 of them. Because it used to be so rare, I still don't have the heart to strip them, despite the fact of having multiples. So these guys here, this car I had for a long time. And then I finally pulled a yellow one and a white one. I like this car and I like these color combos, so I kind of kept them. On the other hand, I've only ever gotten one NSX, and that is the one here you see that was a milestone, or was it a PC? I think it was a milestone. Anyway, this is the only one I have. I just didn't pull any other ones. I did mention pull the Warrior Pink one of the LB, but I already spent all my resources elsewhere, so that stayed stock. And a blue one, which I kept because, hey, it's blue. Good old Jeep Cherokee, some of these RBs, all these Mercedes. I tend not to try to build a Mercedes unless I'm forced to. Again, unique fusions that you can't get from buying dealership cars means they stay stock until there's an event that needs them. And I got these extra ones to strip, but I kind of like these colors, so I kept them so far. So here you see I'm just kind of going through. I kind of went and pulled quite a few of the LB GTRs because I was trying to get a pink one. Didn't happen. I stopped at 3. Didn't want to waste more silver keys than that. We're down to the tier 3s now. Mostly okay cars. Many, again, are PC cars. Nothing special to see here. Some partially built, some more built than others. You know, bit of nice cars, but again, nothing to write home about as far as tier 3 because there's just not that many really interesting cars. Now, what we do need to know is this is coming up. This LB M3 GTS will be coming up as a PC car next season. As you can see, I do have one. I'm going to have to build it, I think. I don't know. Maybe I don't have all the stage 6s. That's why I didn't build this one. These, by the time I got to tier 3, I got tired of organizing. So as you can see, they're no longer in alphabetical order. They're just piled in there by tier. I was quite interested in organizing tier 5. Still had some enthusiasm at tier 4. By tier 3, I kind of went, I'm done. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to put them together. And then you go down to tier 2. Oh, here we go. I did have one built. They're just not put together. So this was actually a very nice car back then. This one I think might be maxed. I'll have to check. But that's next season's PC car. I'll be doing stage 6 effects on that. Here's my tier 2 collection. Focus RS. This used to be my go-to car for tier 2 for a long time. I pull so many of these guys, I think I have one maxed somewhere. So when the Ford event comes around that requires all these Fords, I'll be ready. So here's a Boxster S I deleted. Here's another Boxster S I pulled. I pulled a lot of Boxster S's actually. I just didn't get rid of them. I'm keeping them for rainy days when I really need that extra fusion. And then I'll strip it with my fingers crossed and hope for the best. Alfa 4C Spider is actually the first tier 2 car I ever maxed. first car I ever maxed actually in this game back in 2016 cost me about 30, no, about 25,000 gold back then to buy enough of these cars to max it out, and it was nerfed the next season. So needless to say, that was another lesson I learned, which I've never forgotten. I shouldn't say it was nerfed. I should say that it was the fastest of its tier back then, and then a new car came along and made it seem much slower than it was. So here again, a lot of cars, a lot of tier ones. I tend to, for the longest time, I used to strip every tier one I get. For the first year and a half I played this game, I stripped every tier one I got. And then I realized, hey, you know what? I might as well keep these because, well, I was having fun with the A bars and I was planning one season to use nothing but A bars. Back then, you would kill an A bars even if you raced enough to win. So what I did is all those extra, A bars fusions I had, Fiat fusions, I started building more and more A bars. I had like garages full of them, and I was planning to use one after the other and let it get burnt out, and I'll just strip it. But anyway, those plans fell to the wayside, but I did have some fun planning it. So I collected quite a few and I built them all the same way. Same goes for some other tier one cars. I started keeping them. Um, the only ones I hate keeping was this car. I just didn't like it. So I still strip them when I get them. So you won't see too many of that in my garage. But you will see there are a few nonetheless. And I just have tons of tier ones that I've kept simply because it reminds me of how often these come along and that I shouldn't count on getting nice cars every time I pull those keys. Here are some extra cars that I pulled recently as part of pulling other cars. I just haven't had the drive to move them into the right location yet. So as you can see, a lot of tier 2s, some tier 1s. Here and there, tier 5. This one I kept because it looks nice. It's got the nice red trim on it, and I kind of like that. Um, and here's another Hurricane Coupe. And here are my legend cars that I've actually finished. I just haven't thought of moving them into an actual garage yet. I just kind of left it alone. Here's a one-star Mustang Boss 302. Again, didn't have the drive to build it yet. Just leaving it be. Recent car. This car, I literally just pulled after playing for like 2 years. I don't know why I didn't have this car, but of all the four-star cars in the game, for some reason this one just never popped up until recently. So right now I haven't moved it yet. It's in Garage 57, which means it literally was pulled recently. Probably the same season I got this GTC Ford Lusso as a milestone. So as you can see, you will get a nice collection over time. A lot of it is luck, but mostly the best cars you're going to get are going to be through the Prestige Cup and through the milestone. The Evolution Cups and Golden Cups is more of a do you want to spend the money to do them kind of deal. If you had the fusions, you had the parts, and you had maybe 100 gold keys saved up over time, or you just want to spend $100 and get those keys, yeah, you can get quite a few of the Golden Cup Evolution cars as well. But again, I don't feel they're necessary. They don't make or break the game for you as far as performance. Talking about making or breaking the game, let's go back this way a little bit and I'll wrap this up. Basically, at one time I had my Dino Crushers organized by garage and it went up to garage 8, I believe. Notice I forgot to rename things. I just kind of left it. Oh, garage 9. So that means I had at least 36 Dino crushing cars set up in order before. I since have reorganized it. I just didn't rename these new garages. I should have renamed it back to garage. But at the minimum, there were 9 garages worth of easy Dino crushing cars through tuning. That tells you this game actually contains a lot of cars that beats Dino and are very viable in live. So you shouldn't get bogged down with the idea of I have to get this car or that car. There are many, many good cars in the game. You just have to do a little bit of tweaking, playing with it to figure out which ones can work for you. And the trick to tuning is that sometimes when the car's not maxed, it actually has more variation in tuning than when it's fully maxed. So keep that in mind. You don't always have to chase for maxed cars. There are many, many cars that'll beat dyno without ever being close to being fully maxed. So as requested, I'm giving you a quick overview of my garages. If you see any particular car of interest in there that you want me to do a video on, feel free to let me know in the comments. And I'll take a look at the car to see if there's something interesting I can tell you about it. But otherwise, I will continue to focus mostly on introducing each season's PC cars. And where available, I will show you Golden Cup cars and other cars. What you're not likely to see from me very often in the future would be paid cars. I simply do not have the drive to keep paying the kind of money it requires to upgrade paid cars to the point of doing stage 6 videos. So unless somebody wants to give me an account with a paid car ready to go, like the Mysterious Stranger account that I have access to, I simply won't be doing those videos. Anyhow, I appreciate everyone having stuck with me with my YouTube channel all this time. I will continue to try to put out videos on all these cars, including the upcoming Golden Cup for this one, as well as the Ford 3030, which I actually put quite a bit of resources in back in the day when it first came out. And therefore, I do have that car fully built as well. So I can do videos on both the P1 and the Ford 3030 when the time comes. In fact, I know it's here somewhere. Where did I put it? Oh, right there, because it didn't show up. So this car I do have ready as well. So those videos will be coming based on the fact that I own these cars and they're ready to go. Okay, feel free to make comments. Let me know what you thought. Any questions, any particular cars that you're interested in. Again, like I said, there are many, many dyno beating cars. So if you have a question about a particular car and you are interested in knowing if it beats dyno, feel free to ask me. I'll let you know what I do know about any car that I have in my garage. As always, if you want to get notifications from my videos, please subscribe to the channel. And I thank you for watching my videos and commenting on them. I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.